This video is about the We Bare Bears Iceberg. I'm just making sure you clicked on the right video before I explain what the show is about first. We Bare Bears is a Cartoon Network show about the three bear brothers, Grizz, Panda, and Ice Bear, trying to integrate themselves into modern society, whether it be getting food, making friends, trying to become internet famous, or even getting a real job. And it's all created by Daniel Chong, who also went on to direct Hoppers. Great movie, by the way. Can't believe Panda went from a chronically online weeb to being king of the mammals. On June 9th, 2024, I uploaded a video talking about why I love this show, since there weren't many videos about it at the time. Like, I love this show enough to go visit Minnesota to see if they still sell We Bare Bears merch. I never ended up buying one of them, but maybe one day when I visit my family in Southeast Asia again. Anyways, since there are way fewer video essays about the show than the hundreds of Steven Universe video essays, it also makes you wonder if anyone has ever made an Iceberg video about the show. You guys already know what an iceberg is, so I don't think I need to explain it, but in case you don't, I'll let my friend RT60 explain it.
4Eye says that I have to explain what iceberg charts are to get out of the basement. So if you don't know, iceberg charts are like a tier list of different concepts within a certain topic that gets more and more obscure as you get lower down the iceberg. Pretty sure all of you are going to know what's on the first layer, but as you get lower, you can start to see which things you know and which things you don't. Or you can just kick back, do something else and vibe and come along for the ride, bro. I know you got that test tomorrow, bust those notes out. Anyways, I'm RT, 4Eye's got y'all from now, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Thank you, RT60. As far as I know, there's only one We Bare Bears Iceberg that exists online, which shout out to this guy for creating it. I actually tried to DM him, asking if I could use his iceberg for the video, but I didn't get a response, and I was hoping that someone who is a bigger We Bare Bears fan than I am would make a video about the iceberg, since, as of writing this script, there is literally not a single video about that. Fucking Uncle Grandpa and Clarence have an iceberg video. 2 years later, there's still no We Bare Bears iceberg video, so if no one else is going to do it,
fine. I'll do it myself.
Now, I do want to preface this by saying, this is the first time I've ever made an iceberg video, so I'm gonna try my best not to get stuff wrong. And if I do get stuff wrong, then please don't be afraid to correct me on this. So, with that being said, let's get things started here. So, let's begin with the first layer, seasons 1 through 4. This obviously refers to the fact that the entire show ran for 4 seasons, from 2015 to 2019, with 140 episodes and 15 shorts, and the movie would release in 2020, where the show would officially end. What do you mean it's been 6 years since the show ended? Panda's phone. It's the iconic phone that Panda would use throughout the entire show.
Be careful with this, please. It is my life and soul in rectangular form.
Yeah.
Like, no joke, Panda's literally obsessed with his phone. He even named it Selly. So, you'll always see him around with his precious phone, taking selfies, trying to find dates online, trying to become an influencer, and watching all the Korean dramas. If you watched at least a couple of episodes of We Bare Bears, then you'll know that Ice Bear always speaks in third person.
Ice Bear can't bear to be without his frosty fluffs.
And despite referring to himself as Ice Bear, no one, not even his bear brothers, ever calls him that. Stacking. Stacking refers to the iconic bear stack we see in the poster, intro, literally anywhere they travel, they'll always travel in a bear stack. There's even an episode where Panda got to be on top of the bear stack, fought against the wolves in a stacking battle, or should I say, stack maxing. Then Ice Bear got his turn, and then the movie had them making the biggest bear stack ever made. Chloe. Chloe is the second side character ever introduced in the show. She's the 10-year-old Korean prodigy attending university, a lot smarter than Chio-chan if you think about it. She first met the bears trying to study them for a college assignment. The bears agreed to help, and when they felt insulted by the accuracy of her presentation, they tried to change it in a way that makes them look cool. But after seeing Chloe humiliated and no one's impressed, the bears realized they fucked up and decided to make things right by being their true selves and help Chloe get an A+ on her assignment, and thus they became friends and have been an integral part of the show ever since. The shorts. The shorts are the minisodes of the show. As I stated before, there are only 15 minisodes, and my only fondest memory of watching these shorts was Panda fantasizing himself, dancing to a K-pop song, alongside all the other girls, just to beat this guy who cut him in line. I don't know why this was my only fondest memories of watching these minisodes, but I distinctly remember lying on my floor watching this from my iPad and thought to myself, this shit actually slaps. But still never proceeded to listen to more K-pop because I like listening to nu metal and Toho music. Anyways, Panda's artwork likely refers to the fact that Panda's art is literally how any kid would try to draw anime and doesn't seem to make an effort to improve his art. Like, bro, you're chronically online. You could literally be consuming all the art tutorials on YouTube and have your art be god tier by now. There's also this one episode where he was attending an art class in community college, and when he tried to paint Charlie, the results showed that he is, in fact, capable of creating an artistic masterpiece. Like, why not put all that energy into learning how to create the best anime art like all the artists I follow on Twitter? We Baby Bears is the name of the spin-off show I've never actually watched before, so I don't think there's anything I can talk about, other than the fact that Toby Fox, creator of Undertale and Deltarune, was in that show.
Oh, sorry about that. I just get nervous easily.
Charlie. Charlie is one of the side characters introduced in Season 1, Episode 13. He is a cryptid Bigfoot that Wendigoon had talked about in his cryptid Iceberg video. You'll often see him desperately wanting to hang out with the bears, and somehow knows his way around the bear cave. But considering he's a Bigfoot, he does everything he can to avoid the humans, mainly because all they want to do is to take pictures of him without consent, which caused him to isolate himself from the world and only has the animals he could truly call friends. Nom Nom. Nom Nom is the first side character ever introduced in the show. He is an internet star who is only famous for being a cute koala, but behind the scenes, he is a fucking asshole, just like all the other douchey YouTubers who will do anything to keep their fame. I'm actually surprised he hasn't collabed with Mr. Beast yet, considering how big he is, and had a boxing match with his rival. If We Bare Bears ever get a season 5, there needs to be an episode where the two are having a boxing match. There's also an episode named after him, where he basically got cancelled after crashing out live on camera, and then all the drama channels were making videos about him, and then Gnomestar had this to say.
What a fucking idiot. I feel bad for him, but what a goddamn idiot.
But Nom Nom got his fame back at the end, so it all doesn't really matter. We Bare Bears the Movie is the official movie that came out on June 30th, 2020. The movie follows the bears trying to flee to Canada after accidentally causing a blackout in the entire city and being ostracized by everyone as a result. Like how Baby No Money is hated for being corny and cringe, which is exactly what the bears did, is to be cringe as fuck, while Agent Trout is trying to hunt them down to send them back to where they came from. I'm not gonna go too in-depth into the movie since I kinda already did that. One thing I do want to mention is that in my other video, I mentioned that I was disappointed that the side characters didn't play a major role in the movie, and then I found this tweet, which I understood why, but I feel so stupid for not including this in my video, because at the time, I didn't have enough of a commitment to scroll through Daniel Chong's tweets for information that would have been very interesting to show. Fuck, I feel so stupid. But I learned from my mistakes and applied that to my OKKO video, so that's all I have to say. To end this layer on a lighter note, we have to talk about the friendship between Iceberg and Chloe. This was, in my opinion, the best and sweetest part of the entire show. Just watching these two have a wholesome conversation, playing the piano together, finding the perfect Christmas tree, Iceberg trying to retrieve her hoodie from a man-eating puppy, and the fact that Iceberg is willing to protect Chloe from an albino alligator and an oncoming train just shows how precious their friendship are. Seriously, it's so wholesome. We need to protect her like how we need to protect Dendi, Wako, and Koma-san at all costs. And now moving on to the next layer. Ralph. Ralph is a Yeti and is a buff and stronger version of Charlie, but unfortunately not enough to frame mug the ASU frat leader. In this episode, when Ralph scared off a group of humans, inadvertently saving Charlie, he had first admired him since they're both cryptids, and the two would bond over messing with the humans. Unfortunately, when meeting the bears, Ralph would treat them like shit, and when he attempts to kill the humans for laughs, Charlie realizes how fucked up Ralph really is and decides to save the humans, despite being afraid of them, showing that he is more caring than Ralph will ever be. Panda's death. Don't worry, he didn't actually die. I believe this entry refers to the episode Googs, where Panda's chronically online activity won him a contest for an exclusive tour of Googs HQ, and brought his bear brothers along. He got to meet the creator of Googs, who explains that she wants to create a utopia on the moon, so she sent the bears into space. The bear brothers tried to reverse this, but ended up changing direction to the sun. With no room in the escape pod, Panda, without hesitation, decided to sacrifice himself to save his brothers. And then it all turns out to be a simulation, and this is the real creator of Googs, Primal. This refers to the episode where Gris tries to get his brothers to live in the wild after seeing how domesticated they've become, but after getting lost in the wild, Panda and Ice Bear start to hallucinate eating real good food, and eventually, they transform into their hungry primal forms. Realizing this, Gris decided to lead them to a fast food restaurant and was able to save them and turn them back to normal. So yeah, this is exactly what happens when the bears have no real food to eat. Ice Bear's Roomba. This is not just your typical Roomba that cleans the floor. This Roomba in specific can do anything. It can clean, fly, wield an axe, and give Ice Bear a ride to any place in the city, and he'll make sure nothing can harm it. Speaking of which, Icy Nights 1 and 2. They were episodes mainly centered around Ice Bear and his nightly adventures, as the evil tech corporation tries to steal his Roomba, and Ice Bear tries to get his stolen Roomba back. He fought through an army of robots, like how John Wick, nah, that example is too easy, like how Kazuma Kiryu fought through groups of Yakuza members, all by himself. But we also get some hints of Ice Bear's past, involving his relationship with Yana. Yana is actually an important character to the Icy Nights duology, and apparently, she and Ice Bear used to be in a relationship, until something happened in the past that we'll never know of. Icy Nights 2 specifically focuses on Ice Bear rescuing Yana from the evil tech corporation, and at the end of the episode, we'll come back to that later. The Cub episodes. These are episodes centering around the bears when they were just adorable baby bears, traveling around the world, whether it be in a plane, going to school, getting stranded on an island, or somehow going to Japan to help a ramen chef, impress her father, and save the shop. But the main reason they were traveling around the world was to find a place they could truly call home. After all, they have no parents, and only have each other to call family. Cultural references. I'm not sure what this entry means in specific, but I believe this is referring to the anime references, K-pop references, and internet culture, because there are a lot of those in the show, so that's what I'm gonna be talking about. For anime, it should already be known that Panda is a weeb, and We Bare Bears does a great job of normalizing anime culture. For K-pop, I don't listen to a lot of them, but I've noticed that there are a lot of K-pop references in the show, and even an actual K-pop group, Monsta X, made a special appearance in the show. And for internet culture, since the show first aired in 2015, it's safe to assume that most of these internet references are from the early days of the internet, mainly from the late 2000s and early 2010s. You know, back when AI slop didn't exist, and people didn't just mindlessly doom scroll and consume all the slop content. It wouldn't surprise me if Nom Nom resorted to producing all the short form slop content just to stay relevant, considering the length of his videos. Some of you may not know this, but the entirety of the show is an allegory of what's it like to be a minority, and the main premise of the show is about the bears trying to fit in with the humans, hence the anti-discrimination themes, like that one episode where Gris dislikes how the movie he was going to star in had his kind be portrayed as monsters, and the official movie where the bears were in the cages to be sent back to where they're originally from. Yuri. Yuri was Icebear's mentor and adopted father from when he was a cub. He actually taught Icebear everything he needed to know about the world and how to fend for himself, which is how he became so skillful at everything. And he also taught him an important lesson he'll never forget.
You see, the world may be unkind to you, Malenki, but it benefits no one to return unkindness with unkindness. Promise, Yuri, you will always be kind to others.
Unfortunately, when the poachers were trying to hunt him down, Yuri had to send him away to save him from the poachers, and that was the last we ever saw of him. Throughout the entirety of the show's run, the show was nominated for at least one Emmy Award for the episode Hurricane Hal. Unfortunately, they didn't win. It was actually a really great episode. The pilot. Before the show officially aired, the pilot would be released in 2014, which shows what most of the episodes would be like. And you can tell that the art style was different from the actual show, especially the design of the iconic bear cave. Miki-chan. Miki-chan is the body pillow Panda has in possession. I don't think I need to say anything else, since again, Panda's a fucking weeb. Panda's relationship with Lucy. Lucy was another side character introduced in the 6th episode of Season 1. She saved Panda from a peanut allergy, and upon first gazing upon her, Panda starts to develop a crush on her. In the episodes she would appear, Panda would try to find ways to get closer to her, like locking his own brothers in the closet just to claim her for himself that one time, babysitting her brother just to impress her, only to realize he actually enjoys spending time with him, being her dance partner despite not having the heart to tell her that she sucks, and Panda got jealous when she started dating another guy. And this was also an episode where T-Pain himself made an appearance, and he actually gave him the wisest advice any man can think of.
Well, then you should be happy for her. The only person's feelings you can control are your own. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
All of that he got from Crowbar Jones, and that's when Panda realizes that he should let go and be happy that Lucy is happy. And lastly, Charlie's Halloween thing. There are only 2 Halloween specials with the same name, where Charlie would tell all the spooky Halloween stories. One where Chloe turns into a werebear, getting attacked by dolls, zombies, and one where Charlie wishes to become a human. And now we've just entered the ocean. The Pigeon Cartel. The Pigeon Cartel is an organization of criminal pigeons dedicated to committing crimes. They were first introduced as normal pigeons, but were later revealed to be criminals, stealing people's possessions. And then later on, tricked Grizz into freeing them from prison, and sells sriracha sauce illegally. But it makes you wonder if they ever, sell drugs? Breaking Bad style? More on that later. Back to what I was saying about Icy Knights 2 from the last layer, it was later revealed that Yana is Yuri's daughter, and the episode just ends there, with no continuation and further elaboration on the reveal. Apparently there was supposed to be an Icy Knights 3, which would further elaborate on that, but... See, this is exactly why we need a Season 5 for Icy Knights 3, Googs. Googs, as the name suggests, is the show's version of Google. In one episode, it shows their version of Google's home assistant and mascot, Shmorby, that can do literally anything that no human can do. I wish we had that in real life instead of fucking generative AI slop. There's even a fun animation by Louis Zong if you want to check it out. The bears have canonical human counterparts, namely Griff, Tom, and Isaac. For Tom, he was first introduced when Panda was trying to find a friend with the same interests as him. Upon finding out that he and Tom have a lot in common, they both start to bond over common interests. And then Tom kidnaps Panda to be his roommate, but later regrets it. And then at the end, Griff and Isaac are finally introduced, and the three became roommates. We later see them again in the episodes Bro Brawl, More Everyone's Tube, The Mall. The whole gang got to live together for a reality show, and then the last we ever saw of them was in the movie for a couple of seconds. I Am Iceberg. This refers to the episode where Iceberg got hit in the head and could no longer speak in third person.
Oh man, I need some ice for my head.
But luckily he got hit in the head again and is back to normal. Panda 2. This refers to the episode centered on Panda when he was a cub living in some sort of facility in China, all alone with no one to talk to. To compensate for his loneliness, he was given a dog and named him Panda 2. But when he discovered that there's a world outside the facility, he decided to escape with Panda 2. But unfortunately, Panda 2 had to sacrifice himself to save Panda. The crossover nexus. This refers to the episode from another Cartoon Network show where you'll see a statue of Gris and then him appearing again for a brief second. Yes, you read that right. Panda has a cat Sona. This actually comes from the episode Mom App, where the bears tried to order a mom after being parentless for all their lives. While they were celebrating getting a new mom, one of the moms they ordered showed everyone Panda's drawings, which include Panda's own cat Sona. Ice Bear's underground bathroom. This refers to the episode Rooms, where after Ice Bear's fridge broke, the three bears decided to sleep in each other's rooms. Ice Bear sleeping in Panda's room, Panda sleeping in Gris's room, and Gris sleeping in Ice Bear's fridge. But after being uncomfortable for a few moments, he accidentally stumbled upon a hatch that leads all the way down to Ice Bear's secret underground bathroom. I mean, it's no surprise what Ice Bear is capable of building, considering he literally built a robot butler and an unregistered vehicle. Extended theme song. If you like the intro of the show, then you're gonna love the extended theme song, as seen in the episode More Everyone's Tube. Toad Life. Toad Life is the episode where the bears were scrutinized for not wearing reusable tote bags, so the bears decided to buy one for themselves. And because they thought they were the key to fitting in, they decided to buy way more bags than necessary and let them consume their lives. It wasn't until the EPA came to their house and showed them the mess they caused that the bears realized their mistake. At the end, they decided to dispose all of their bags and use them for good. Browser and mobile games. There were games that used to be on the Cartoon Network website and mobile devices, but unfortunately, I've never actually played them before, so there's not much to talk about. Hurricane Howl. This is the episode I mentioned that won an Emmy Award. It focuses on the character, Professor Lampwick, narrating 3 different stories from each bear during a hurricane, and makes it an interesting narrative that eventually connects them all into one, which was the whole point he was trying to make, that all things are connected. So now you know why it won an Emmy Award. I wish we could see more of Professor Lampwick. And lastly, Coffee Cave. This is the episode where Ice Bear's natural talent in making the best coffee gave the bears an idea to open a coffee shop in their cave. It was going great at first, until Ice Bear became sluggish, decreasing the quality of their coffee. So the bears convinced him to drink one for himself, and save their coffee shop business. And then the next day, he goes on a psychotic rampage and tries to chase after his brothers, which is exactly why I had to use this for a thumbnail. Luckily, Ice Bear crashed from all the caffeine he consumed and turned back to normal. And now moving on to the next layer. Kyle. In this episode, Nom Nom reveals that he hasn't seen any of his family members for who knows how many years, until he reunites with his supposed long-lost brother, Kyle, that he became happier than he ever was. Until it was later revealed that he was a fraud trying to steal Nom Nom's fame and fortune. Luckily, in the end, he got arrested, and Nom Nom realizes that he doesn't need anyone but his bodyguard, Farmer, to call family. Ice Bear sleeping with his eyes open. It took me a while to find this, since I don't trust the AI overview to be an accurate source of information. I guess Coffee Cave counts, but I did find a deleted scene from the official We Bare Bears Tumblr blog, where it goes something like this. I'll put a link to the full video in the description if you guys want to check it out. Ralph and Charlie are not the only Sasquatches. I don't know much about cryptids, but I'm assuming that since Ralph is a Yeti and Charlie's a Bigfoot, there are, in fact, other types of Sasquatches yet to be introduced, such as the Yowie, skunk ape, or this cut character that was supposed to appear in the movie. Scratch We Bare Bears implementation. Upon looking this up, I believe this refers to the show teaming up with Scratch, the programming language, to teach kids how to code, like how OKKO shows how cool coding can be. Grizz almost went primal in Planet Bears. I believe in the episode Planet Bears, where at the climax of the episode, the bears had nothing to eat, and when they found one piece of a granola bar, the bears fought each other over it, almost turning primal like in that other episode. But after watching a sports game, they eventually calmed down, made up, and share a piece together. It's honestly scary to think about what would have happened if they had never found a granola bar. You'd be surprised to know that We Bare Bears had Nintendo Switch commercials, mainly to promote Splatoon 2 and ARMS. Unfortunately, you won't be able to find these commercials on both the official channels, only videos with lower views, and the others talking about it, so I guess you can count those as lost media. Adventure Time reference. In Charlie's Halloween thing too, you can spot at least one Adventure Time reference. Bubbled pulled from the Cartoon Network app. Apparently, the episode Bubble, where Panda wasn't a bubble since he's a germaphobe, was pulled from the Cartoon Network app due to COVID-19 happening at the time. The censorship of Ice Bear and his fridge in multiple countries. This is the one thing that surprises me the most. According to Daniel Chong himself, most countries have issues with characters being in the fridge, like so.
There you are! Oof. Panda, you're very bouncy.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are gonna be so excited. I got us a new pet!
Oh, what?
Apparently, there are at least 2 scenes that had to be cut from the pilot. One of them shows Ice Bear holding a dead deer, and Gris messing with a child in the porta potty. Not only that, but there was also deleted scenes from the We Bare Bears movie. Upon looking this up, it's only available on DVD. According to this review, there are at least 4 deleted scenes, and unfortunately, I don't own a DVD player, nor do I own the DVD itself. And lastly, Panda is a simp. It's no surprise that Panda is shy around women, and there are many examples of him being a fucking simp. Like, in the example I'm gonna use again, he literally locks his own brothers in a closet just to claim Lucy for himself. Another example is where Panda got jealous that the girl, whom he himself invited over, got along with his best friend Tom. I would show more examples, but due to time constraints, I'm gonna have to recommend this video to you guys. So, I guess you could say that he did it all for the nookie. Listen, Panda, if you want to get all the girls, you should try going to the gym like all the fitness influencers are doing. Eat healthier, maybe try mewing every single day, and if you want to take this one step further, you could try Bone Smash. I'm just kidding, don't actually do that. Then you'll be in Chad in no time. And now moving on to the next layer. The promotional items in Roblox. This refers to the catalog items. Not only that, but players could also win Panda's cell phone and play as the bears themselves. The Pizza Rat is a corrupt internet star. I'm assuming this refers to the fact that in the We Bare Bears movie, the Pizza Rat is irrelevant compared to the other animal internet stars. But when he saw that the bears got more love than him, he decided to rat them out to the authorities, no pun intended. Gris was parentless when he was a cub. It was shown in one of the most heartbreaking episodes, Burritos, that he was an abandoned cub, with no sight of his real parents anywhere in the show. He was later adopted to be in a Canadian sitcom, only to realize that he wants to find a family of his own. And it was only after wandering aimlessly around that he met Panda and Ice Bear and could only call them family. Ice Bear is autistic. While it's not exactly confirmed, there were many theories and speculations based on how he behaves and how Ice Bear fits the most common symptoms for autism, which makes them believe that Ice Bear might possibly be autistic, like Osaka.
Oh my god!
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not autistic, at least I don't think I am. I still need to get that checked, but I can see why people can relate to him a lot. The Bear Brothers have appeared in the Deuce and Bears game. Upon looking this up, Deuce and Bears is a Korean baseball team that collaborated with the Bears in 2017, and this footage I'm currently showing is proof that it's real. I mean, it's no surprise that We Bare Bears is pretty popular in Korea, since the show embraces Korean culture. Heck, they even made it in a Korean drama that one time. The Three Bear Bears. Before the show existed, there was a webcomic that Daniel Chong made called The Three Bear Bears. I'll let him explain its origins.
The concept of it really just came out because I was like doodling next to my girlfriend's niece and we were just messing around on the paper. And I just drew these 3 bears trying to make her laugh. She laughed and I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. Yeah, I turned that into a comic strip. I made a couple of them and put them online. Nobody read them, nobody cared. When I realized I wanted to make my own show, Bears was just something I had, and I basically just took that and started developing it into a show.
These comic strips shows the bears getting up to whatever shenanigans and scenarios they would get into, like trying to fix a fan, getting pizza, getting robbed, and that one comic strip actually made it in the show. But of course, the webcomic was short-lived. The Northern Divide Bear Dancing. The Northern Divide Bear Dancing video was actually an old video uploaded by the US Geological Survey of a grizzly bear dancing by the tree. And you can see Grizz watching that in the pilot. The oldest one I can find uploaded was on August 11th, 2006. Fallout 76 Easter egg. I've never actually played Fallout 76 before. Frankly, I've only played Fallout 4 and New Vegas, and I generally think they're way better than 76, but that's besides the point. There's actually an Easter egg in 76 that literally references the iconic bear stack. Honestly, how cute is that? And lastly, one of the darkest and heartbreaking moments to think about is Icebear's parents being killed by the poachers. While the show never explained what happened to his parents, it was shown that the poachers were wearing a skinned polar bear, which might imply that they did in fact kill Icebear's parents, which explains the bear traps and Icebear trying to escape them and fend for himself. And now moving on to the last layer of the iceberg. This is the deepest layer of the iceberg. Missing number. I'm sure you might be wondering what this well-known Pokemon glitch has to do with We Bear Bears. Well, in Charlie's Halloween Thing 2, when Chloe and the bears try to pirate a movie, a virus comes to life and wreaks havoc around the cave, turning one of the items into missing number. Throughout the movie, Agent Trout was dead set on capturing the bears and despised all the other animals trying to live like humans. But it also makes you wonder why he never bothered to capture or kill the popular animals who are established internet celebrities, even Nom Nom. The best theory I can come up with is that since they're well known and beloved by the general public, it would be unwise for Agent Trout to kill or capture them because that would sour his reputation and career. So it makes sense for him to capture the bears since they weren't beloved in the public eye. The Pigeon Cartel sells drugs, Breaking Bad style. In all seriousness, there are no drugs in the show, but the way they were dealing sriracha sauce or have a base is kinda similar to how they would deal drugs. That, and alongside having cartel in its name, should speak for itself. That's all I can think of. Yes, you read that right. I don't know if this is actually true, but I don't think I want to find out if Icebear actually goons to pictures of the Arctic, so I'm not gonna talk about it.
Wait, what's this? Photography of the Arctic?
Icebear lost that.
Grizz accidentally killed a child. In one of the comic strips from the webcomic titled Goldie and the Three Bear Bears, a little girl wanted to play tag with the bears. She tags Grizz, and after chasing her around, Grizz accidentally killed her. And then there's a follow-up comic showing the bears attempting to dispose of the body while Icebear is trying to change his identity, and then the comic just ends with that. The drunk driving comic. There's also a comic strip from the Three Bear Bears where the bears tried to buy alcohol and got really drunk, resulting in them driving while drunk and getting in trouble with the police. So remember kids, don't drink and drive. Personally, I think Iceberg being both an outlaw and a wanted criminal are the same thing, so I'm gonna talk about both of them at once. Throughout the entire show, it was shown multiple times that Iceberg might be a fucking criminal.
Iceberg is wanted in Singapore.
Since he has a wanted poster. Like, bro casually stole a seal from the zoo and stole a truck like it was nothing, has access to a shady website, built an unregistered vehicle, and he might have been an underground criminal. Not surprising since he has the skills to do all of that. While it's not exactly shown, the possibility of Panda watching hentai. I mean, let's be real. Is anyone even that surprised that a weeb like Panda might watch hentai? I even made a joke about it in my other video, and we've literally seen what his search history is like, so I can already imagine what he does in incognito mode. Charlie is immortal. Considering that he is a cryptid and survived multiple injuries, it's no surprise that he has lived for a long time, as shown in the episode El Oso, where Charlie went on a journey in Mexico in 1913, so this implies that he is in fact immortal. Primal 2. This is actually the first time I've ever learned of this, so upon looking this up, Primal 2 is actually a creepypasta centering around episode 8B, which is supposed to be part 2 of Primal. The only information I can find about it is in the wiki, and upon reading through it, I have to show this to you guys. Well, I'm not gonna show the whole thing, but I want to paraphrase this one part that I keep thinking about a lot lately. But rather than reading it myself, I decided to ask a friend to narrate it to you guys, and I'll try my best with the visuals.
In this creepypasta, Panda and Iceberg didn't actually turn primal, and Grizz actually returned with the food. They set up the campfire for the night, and then when Panda woke up, Iceberg was gone, so he went searching for him. Then after 3 minutes of searching, he saw a pile of dirt covering a body. He slowly walked towards the pile of dirt and dug up the body to see that it was Iceberg. His eyes were half open yet soulless. His mouth was open, letting blood flow from there. Tears were coming out of Panda's eyes, of course. After all, he'd just seen his dead brother, who was literally his family. And then all of a sudden, the instrumental of Oka's-san by Miku started playing in the background. And then, slash. Panda's head nearly got decapitated by none other than Grizz in his primal form.
And I'm gonna stop here before it gets too gruesome for some of y'all. If this made you scared yet curious, and you're prepared to handle this type of horror, then I'll put a link to the creepypasta if you guys want to read it for yourself. And now, for the last entry of the entire Iceberg, which is a real-life burrito. Okay, I'm actually not sure what this is referring to. I guess this is referring to people recreating the exact burrito and this video existing, but this entire Iceberg came out 5 years ago as a making of this video, so I would appreciate it if someone in the comments could help me on this, because I don't know why this is in the deepest layer, and that is the last of the Iceberg. So yeah, that was my first ever attempt at making an Iceberg video, and hopefully by the time I upload this video, I will be the first person in the world to make an Iceberg video specifically on We Bear Bears. So with that being said, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky, and check out my other videos if you're interested, and now would you excuse me, I should probably go buy Kiwami 1 and 2.